Welcome to episode 17. Stress. We all know that word. We've all felt it. We know as soon as I say the word, I'm sure it probably elicits an emotion inside of you. But we know stress can be a major buzzkill. It can derail any comprehensive program that you know is good for you, meaning an exercise program, a clean eating food program, maybe some kind of education that you're trying to do for yourself, getting out of a career that's not working anymore. Stress can hold us down and keep us stuck in a place that we don't want to be, but we don't know how to get out. And when we're stressed in that moment, it's very easy to talk yourself out of doing anything that might be good or healthy for yourself. It's easy to say, hey, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later or put it off. So today, Christian and I, we're going to give you some strategies to talk yourself back into the game when sitting on the sofa looks more appealing. Talk yourself off the ledge. Get back in the game. Don't be stuck. Don't be paralyzed. Don't let stress hold you back from being your best self. Right, Christian?
Yes, and what are the things that cause this stress?
Yes.
Now, you listening definitely share something with the other listeners is your experiences, right? Kids are one of the biggest stressors.
Huge stresses.
They always need something from you. Mommy, daddy, get me this, do this. I'm having a bad day. I need food. And you're like, I'm going to pull my fucking hair out.
I think I have one of those coming home shortly.
So there's kids, there's work, right? The boss says, I need this damn report tomorrow. You're like, dude, I got this other package, of things that I got to finish. I don't care. You want your job? Give me the papers. And then there's dreading going into work, right? There's when you're at work and then when you're at home. And you wake up in the morning, you're like, I do not want to go to this freaking job and sit in this damn traffic for 2 hours, right? Especially if you work in New York City. These things that just make you feel terrible, right? The environment you're in. Politics, we just got through an election and tons of people were stressed.
And in a pandemic.
I've had clients who I could see that they were stressed and they didn't say anything. So I asked them, I'm like, what's going on? They're like, you know what? All the things that are going on in the election. And of course, in my head, I'm like, well, that doesn't have to ruin your day or your week. But, we're going to get into how to solve that later. And relationship stress. Maybe you and your spouse aren't seeing eye to eye. And it's bugging you because every day you wake up and you have to see this person. Right. And they leave the nail clippings in the sink. Or he shaves and doesn't clean it up. Or she's always, her hair is everywhere. And
he doesn't hang up his coat. When he comes in, he drops it on a chair, slings it over a chair.
Yeah, or keeps the shoes on walking in the house. And all these things add up.
Yes.
Right? These things, and even how you feel about yourself. Maybe you're not losing weight and you've been trying for so long. That plus the kids, plus the husband or the wife, plus right? And these things add up and you are just ready to lose it. So we're going to tell you how not to lose it and how to gain back control.
And there are definitely strategies and things that you can do. And some you may know and you may just need to have a refresher on them. And some you may not know. So I'm hoping that, some of these gems will stick with you. But one thing that is my favorite is knowing what your triggers are. And Christian just listed some of them, right? Nail clippings in the sink, or if he shaves, he doesn't clean up, throws a chair, the kids drop their stuff everywhere, they leave dishes in the sink, like all these little things that just trigger you. I know for me, when I come home after working hard all day and I see dishes in the sink, that sends me like to the moon and back. I can't accept it. I don't like it. I don't want it. So identify your triggers. If you know that on your way to work, if you commute, that there's a certain area that's very trafficky or always gets backed up or causes you to be a few minutes late or feeling stressed under the gun because now you're like, oh God, I only have 10 minutes left and it takes me 15 minutes to get to work. Leave earlier. Alleviate that stress. That's a trigger. Leave 15 minutes earlier. So if you get stuck in it, you're like, oh, I'm cool. And just listen to the radio or whatever you're doing while you're waiting to get through it so that you get to work still on time and not in a bad mood. Because there's nothing worse than arriving somewhere late, disheveled, now and then somebody says something to you that you take a certain way that wasn't meant, and your day is ruined. And it's hard for you to snap out of that cycle, right, Christian? When you just feel a certain way. And for ladies out there that are listening, if we're PMS or we're in our cycle, it could be like a really bad day for you and for the person on the receiving end if something happens. So find out what your triggers are and then communicate to those people. I mean, if it's something like your spouse is doing something or your kids are doing something or a friend or your mom maybe. We all have parents that can still nag us even though we're older and we don't live there anymore. But, address those things with those people so that you can help alleviate that stuff. Then you won't constantly revisit the same triggers when you are with those people.
Exactly. And understand that you have more power in the situation than you likely think you do. Mm-hmm. Linda brought up parents. This often happens around the holidays or, let's just say holidays, sometimes family reunions, whatever, the summer when they come to visit. And they come to the house and they've just got all these things to tell you. Well, these sheets and these drapes are okay, but I would have done this and you should probably do that. And are you sure you're raising the kid right? Well, should they be eating that? And you're like, I know you're my parent, but I'm going to strangle you.
Right.
And they're there for a day and you're already ready for them to get out of there. Oh, you know what? It's been nice. And now I understand why I moved out at 18. Understand that just because they're your parent doesn't mean you can't tell them what bothers you.
Right.
Right? You're an adult now. And yes, so you always show respect, not just because they're your parent. You do that to any person. But you can approach them and say, hey, Mom, listen, I love you very much. And I do enjoy having you over the house. But I am an adult now. This is how I run my home. And I expect you to respect that. Or you can say, if you want to be nicer, I would appreciate if you'd respect that. I have my way of doing things. You raised me a certain way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would rather not have you come here and tell me how to operate my life. I make my own decisions, and I need you to respect that. Or maybe we shouldn't do this as often. You got to, you know what I mean? You have to be the boss of your own life. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to do it, no one else is going to do it. So then every time they come over, and this always happens. This is portrayed in the movies. It's portrayed in the TV shows. The in-laws are coming over.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Run for the hills.
Going to the bunker, right? And that's because all these things that happen, you let them happen. Now, I'm not saying you're going to win every battle, right? Some of them are just so annoying, and not just in-laws, but anybody. Could be friends, whatever. But if you at least are authentic, you say what's on your mind, you're going to feel better about it because you didn't just swallow it and walk away. And now all you're doing all day is, can you believe what they did? Can you believe this happened? Because you're the victim. You're the weak one, right? You held it in and let them have their way. And they leave saying, well, their life would be better if they just listened to me.
And it's interesting, Christian, too. There's a saying, and I know you know this and our listeners do too, but you get more with honey than you do vinegar. So meaning if you just address the trigger with whomever it is, you'll in a calm, rational way, it'll go way better than if you just not say something and let it build and build and build. And then you blow up at the person, whether it's mom, mother-in-law, husband, kid, whomever it is. That always is a bummer because then you usually kind of have to go back a little bit, clean up your mess, and apologize for overreacting when you could just say, in a very calm way, please stop doing this, or can you please clean up after yourself in the bathroom, or, whatever it is. So definitely more with sugar than vinegar.
Exactly. So. And also, you listening to this right now, I'm going to speak from experience on this. I used to be a passive person. What I mean by that is I would see things that bothered me and I wouldn't say anything. Right now, I've never been a doormat. I've never let anyone walk on me, but there's been plenty of instances. I mean, talking from high school all the way up to being an adult, where people have said things, done things, and I didn't say anything because I was, one, either afraid of what they would say back, mm-hmm. or two, sometimes it's intimidating. You're like, okay, well, it might be confrontational, right? And I've been there where I've walked away and then I'm like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Can you believe? And now I am the exact opposite. I've done work on myself, and I bring this up because you can be the same way. I've done work on myself. Well, now if something comes up, you bet your ass I'm going to say something. I will not let things slide, even if they're small, big. I address things when they come up as soon as they come up so that it doesn't waste time in my mind thinking about it, right? It's not like, well, I'm going to say this next time I see them, and then you got to wait till next year when the holidays come around, right?
That's a long time.
And the other thing is address them in person. I mean, it's totally okay to do things over the phone, but nothing is better than face-to-face. Address your people or your issues with another person in person.
And then just to interject one little tidbit to that also, Christian, is don't do it over text.
Yeah.
Or email. I mean, just don't put stuff in writing because people just interpret things in a way that you, the sender, may not be sending it as. And someone may read it like, what a you-know-what. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. I'm going to text back something nasty. And then you're like, whoa, what? And then you're in this thing. So if you can't get to them face-to-face, and phone is the best way if they don't live near you, phone, or you could FaceTime now. I mean, it's great. You can look at someone through Zoom or FaceTime. But make it personal. Like, take the time to talk to them. Definitely don't text things to people that are bothering you. It just never ends well, I don't think. One of my favorite things is to alleviate stress, because we all have it, is to just allow myself at the end of the day, a stressful day, to just sort of to relax and recharge. And I do a few different things, and I'm going to share them with you. But I love to put on, I love to dim the lights. Christian will laugh. I love to dim the lights, and I put on spa music, and I spray my room with some lavender spray, some essential oil.
She's a vampire. The lights are always too damn low, and I always end up getting tired.
He comes in and turns on all the bright lights, and I'm
Flip
like,
'em
my
all
circadian rhythm wants to wind down.
Oh, man.
But I like to dim the lights, and I put on some spa music on my Pandora. I spray lavender in my room, and sometimes I don't usually take baths. I would love to, but sometimes a warm shower or just turning on my electric blanket and getting into a warm bed and just feeling relaxed, like allowing yourself to just calm down. And I always remember, because my mom would tell me when I was a little girl, and if I had stress at school and I'd come home, she used to always say to me, take your problems now and put them in your nightstand drawer and close the drawer. Go to sleep, get a good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, open the drawer, take your problem out. You'll be able to see clearer, and you'll be able to figure it out better in the morning. You're tired at night. You're stressed. Let yourself relax. A restorative night's sleep. So you have a wind down routine is basically what I'm telling you to do at night. I mean, you can really do it at any particular time in the day. Sometimes I'll sit in my car, in my garage. I've mentioned this before in past podcasts, but find a place where you just feel safe and quiet, and you can just allow yourself to either just take a quick cat nap if it's daytime, or get to bed earlier at night. But do things that allow your body to relax. And I love the lavender. I think it just makes everything smell so nice. It's just a very calming feeling. That's one of my favorite things.
And to add on to or to add an idea onto the put your problems in the drawer, I think doing your best to get the ideas out of your head, or at least calm the thoughts down, is great. Now, to double back to what I had said before, oftentimes if you handle the problem in the moment, something happens at the office and you don't address it that day, well, now, and
you've got to wait.
Part of keeping yourself in a relaxed mindset takes training, right? I think many of you guys might think that, some people are just good at this and some people aren't. No, it's like riding a bike. It's like playing baseball. It's like playing tennis. These things take work. And they're skills, right? Stress management is a skill. And if you don't practice it, you will not be good at it, period. So part of stress management is managing that problem when it happens. So if something happens at the office and there's something you have to say to the boss, there are the instances where you might be mad in the moment and you're afraid that if I say something now, I'm going to say something I'll regret and I might lose my job. Okay, right. That's fine. Sit on it for 24 hours. You might have to deal with the stress at night. Maybe you didn't get the best night's sleep. But you come to it with a cooler head and more productive thoughts. But if it's something that you can handle right now, then do that so that it's done with, and when you go home, you don't have those thoughts to deal with. Also, going back to the topic of, and we're going to get into this actually more in depth later, is journaling. Writing down your thoughts before you go to bed. I'm just going to touch on that now, and I'll explain some of the details a little further down.
Definitely. Those are all really important things. I mean, there's no time like the present. So if you have the time to handle something, don't bite your tongue. Like maybe take a deep breath if you have to, and just go all in and deal with it. Because then it's only going to free you up to have a great rest of your day or a relaxing evening, so you don't get home all tired and stressed and wound up about something. One thing, another one of my favorite things to do, and I haven't done this in a while, I've done it in the past, is leave yourself on your phone, leave yourself a motivational message on a day when you feel like a rock star. We all have those days when we're like, I could achieve anything I want to do today. We all have those days, and hopefully you have more of those days than not. But in those moments, I think it's really important to leave yourself a message and say, you're smart, you're for women, you're beautiful, you've got it, you've got everything you need to achieve. There's no reason why you can't have everything you want in life, or, go get it, you're a badass, whatever you want to say to yourself. But in the moment when you're feeling really good about something, you had a great workout and you walk out of the gym and you feel empowered, like leave yourself a message, because that is going to inspire you on those days when stress derails you and you're like, I'm paralyzed. I can't get up. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm so tired. You're mentally tired, not physically tired, but we all know mental fatigue is very strong and it can keep you from doing things that you want to do. So leave yourself a message and play it on those days when you're not feeling optimal. And that hearing your own voice and inspiring yourself is important. I mean, it's great to listen to other people to inspire you and look at photos and inspirational sayings. And I know Mel Robbins, one of her favorite things is high five yourself in the mirror every morning before you walk out of your bathroom. And those are all awesome things you should definitely do. But if you can leave yourself a message in your words and it's you talking to you, I think that's so powerful. And hopefully your own words will inspire you to get up and get out and get going. I think I did that one time back when I was competing the night before I was getting on stage, and I left myself a message, and I still have it. And I played it one time and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So it's good to do. Definitely got to inspire and motivate yourself at the end of the day. It's up to you.
It's very true. And I think you guys need to understand that the motivation that you often seek, because we all need motivation, but it's fleeting.
Right.
You will not be motivated every single day. There will be days where you don't want to do it. You don't want to get up on time. You want to hit the snooze. You want to eat that crappy food. You don't want to go to the gym. You want to say this thing to that person. And you don't have the motivation to do what you know you should do. Finding motivation within yourself, as Linda mentioned, is the most powerful thing. Now, looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself motivational things, telling yourself things that you genuinely want to achieve or that you genuinely feel are good about yourself. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be weird. The first time I did this was after listening to it was a series of CDs by Brian Tracy. He was the first motivational speaker that I'd ever started listening to. It's the something of achievement. And he would say, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Or I like myself. And when you first do it, it's like, all right, this is kind of weird. And it's because you haven't done it before. After a while, it'll be fine. And you start to build a closer relationship with yourself, because we often look for things in others, right? Motivation, love, fulfillment. And a person might look for that in their spouse. But if you don't have that within yourself, if you are not motivated by your own goals, your own pursuits, if you're not proud of yourself at the end of every day, you likely won't live as fulfilled of a life as you could, because you're not truly in touch with and happy with yourself. So I think a great place to start is to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself things that you genuinely feel about yourself that are good, or that you want to achieve. You look yourself in the eyes. Don't look at yourself in the chest or the hair, right? Because it's easy not to make eye contact. That's a problem that a lot of people have, especially with yourself, because when you look into your own eyes, the truth comes out. And oftentimes it's a hard thing to do. When you look at yourself, think of something you're proud of. You know what? You did a great job handling the kids today. You did a great job at work. You did a great job on your run. You had a great workout. Whatever it is, I think you are a motivational person. You're an inspirational person. You're powerful. You can achieve anything. Whatever it is, say it to yourself, because when you speak it into the air, it becomes this tangible thing that floats around and your ears catch it and it becomes more real. So I think look at yourself, talk to yourself, do it until it becomes easy and you really start to believe it, because that's when that's a time when you'll become more self-motivated by yourself.
Definitely. And I think the other thing too is that, we all have things that we like to do. We all have hobbies or things that we're interested in, or maybe there's something that you're interested in that you've never actually pursued or tried for lots of different reasons. Maybe not having enough time is one, but it's important to enjoy your hobbies and set aside time for things that you enjoy. Either by yourself, because it's okay to be by yourself, because that's when you can really recharge and converse with yourself and know yourself better, love yourself, all those things.
And this includes no cell phone.
Right.
Being by yourself is just by yourself.
Yeah.
You, your own energy, and that's it. Cell phone is other people. You look at Instagram, you look at social media, and you are stimulating yourself via other sources. So
important. And, for me, when I work out, I put my phone away. Or if I'm listening to music off my phone, it's on Do Not Disturb, and I don't look at it. I feel like everybody can survive for an hour without. I don't need to answer everybody right away. And it's important to disconnect. Enjoy your hobbies, but disconnect yourself. So if you're going hiking, just tell somebody where you are. So obviously you want to be safe. Tell your family, whomever it is. And then go enjoy some time to yourself and recharge. Or if you're having lunch with a friend, turn your phone on silent so that you're not looking at your phone while enjoy the time with the person that you're with. You made a lunch date, enjoy your lunch date, enjoy the food, taste it, really enjoy the surroundings of the restaurant, the atmosphere, being with a good friend that you haven't seen in a while, especially during this period of time that we're in. Where we've been isolated or trying to stay away from people. It's really important to find things that you enjoy to do, whether it's in the wintertime, if you like to go ice skating or you want to snowshoe or whatever it is. In the summertime, maybe you go out in a canoe, a kayak, you take a walk on a beach, whatever it is, take a vacation. It's okay, go to the spa. There's a million things that you can do, but disconnect and enjoy something, whether it's with someone or it's on your own or it's both, but make time during the week to do those things. And don't make it like a once a month thing. Like maybe it's a once a week thing, or maybe every day you take 10 minutes for yourself and you just go sit quietly somewhere and just either listen to something or not. If you live near the water, go down to the beach. And if it's still cold, sit in your car and look at the water. Being near the water is always therapeutic. It always makes you realize that there's a whole world out there, that we're just one little small piece of it. So you want to keep all that in perspective. So enjoy your hobbies. Find something new to do. The world is your oyster. Broaden your horizons.
And it should be something you practice on a regular basis. I recommend something every day. Now, you might be thinking right now, every day, what do you mean? I don't have time. It's not about having time. I actually made a post on Instagram this morning about this. It's not about having time. It's about making time. And when you feel you have the least and you are the most stressed, that's when you need it the most. If it has to start with 2 minutes a day, and you might think, well, 2 minutes is nothing. Well, you're not doing it now, right? So it's 2 minutes more than you were doing before.
Right.
Show yourself you can do it, right?
2 minutes.
Take 2 minutes. And as Linda said, it could be when you pull into your driveway at night. Mm-hmm. Shut the car off before the family knows you're here. Mm-hmm. Close your eyes. Think about something great that happened that day. Anything. And do not tell me nothing great happened today.
Exactly.
No.
You woke up.
That is your poor perspective. Exactly. You woke up today.
You woke up.
You have both of your legs. Yes, I'm going there. Gratitude. Gratitude will help get you out of slumps. When you understand how blessed you are and how much you truly have and how much more you have than so many others, that's when you start to understand, wow, my life is really great. Not, well, this didn't happen and that didn't happen and I didn't get this and this happened to me. Take time to think about what you're truly appreciative for before you don't have it anymore.
Gratitude. Yep.
2 minutes a day. And then when that becomes easy, then turn it to 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Then turn it into 30 minutes. And then you'll find a threshold where, okay, this is about the amount of time I can give on a daily basis. Maybe it's every other day. Use your creativity. Maybe it's every third day, but make sure it's on a regular basis. And again, this is not, I mean, this is a way to decompress, watching TV, but we're talking about real, true, deep.
Not the news.
Deep decompression, and that's getting to know yourself, giving yourself quiet time. Some of the greatest minds in history, the Gandhis, the Aristotles, the Socrates, the Einsteins spent a ton of time by themselves. And they created things that are timeless, that we still use to this day, and that will never, ever, ever be forgotten. And that's because they had quiet time to think, and you need that also. That is part of our DNA. It's just that we are in such a stimulation-saturated environment now that it's hard for us because we've unlearned that or learned ourselves out of that. Now people are at the point where, I just have to look at Instagram again. I have to look at my emails again. I have to look at my text. You didn't even get a ping. I wonder if someone texted me. No, they didn't text you, right? You just stop, put the phone down, turn it off. If it's hard for you to do, you're addicted.
Yep.
And that means you need to reconnect with yourself, and you need to distance yourself from the noise.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the phones and all the technology that we have are definitely make life easier for us, but it's a gift and a curse in the sense that we're sometimes just way too connected. Like when I talked about having a downtime routine at night, spraying lavender and spa music and dim lights and all that stuff, but that doesn't include the cell phone. Like I put it on moon, and I set my alarm, put it on moon, say goodnight to the people I need to say goodnight to, and my phone goes face down. And that's my routine at night, because it's easy to just stay on there. And I've done it where I get in, I'm like scrolling through, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. I need to go to sleep. So definitely do that. The other thing that I wanted to add is, and we all know this, and given that Christian and I are nutritionists, but you want to make sure that you're giving your body the right fuel to help conquer stress. And by that, I mean, we all know if we eat a lot of sugar, a lot of alcohol, processed foods, things like that, that's just going to leave us feeling what? Sluggish, tired, unmotivated, all those things. And then you're going to probably beat yourself up because you're going to start to feel kind of crappy, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. And then that whole cascade happens. So when you're stressed and you're really, really feeling it, make sure you give your body quality fuel to burn, because that's going to help you just stay stronger, keep your mind clear, help you rest better. It's just going to give you the right energy that you need, the right fuel, because the other thing you don't want to do is skip meals too, because that's only going to leave you feeling fatigued and tired and cranky, and then you're probably going to overreact if it's a person that's stressing you out. So you want to make sure that you're fueling your body properly so that you can deal with the things that are coming down the road. You'll have a good plan, and you'll be ready to deal with anything that comes your way. What do you think?
So, in regards to eating healthy, your emotional reactions to stress will tell you to eat comfort foods. Mm-hmm. It'll say, reach for that macaroni and cheese, reach for that ice cream, reach for those cookies. That's what you ate when you were a kid and you were feeling happy, right? Yay. The problem is that after you eat those things, you are going to feel guilty, and you're going to feel more depressed after that high of the food wears off. The reason why we often search for things that are sugary, because they release endorphins. And once you get the high, like a drug addict, and it goes away, you're left with the reality that you're trying to run from by eating that food. And that's exactly what you're doing. Eat quality food that is conducive to the healthier you. You have goals to be healthy. Chances are you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to us speak because you want a better life. You need to make the decisions in the moment that will bring you closer to that, as hard as it is. And make no mistake about it, it is going to be hard. Mm-hmm. You will be in your kitchen looking at something you shouldn't eat, likely this week. Or, well, it's already almost Friday.
Remove them from your kitchen.
This weekend. And you'll think, oh, I really want to eat that. And you'll know I shouldn't. And you might eat it. And then afterwards, how are you going to feel? I guarantee you will feel guilty. And that's because you didn't strategize. The first thing, get the food out of the house.
Clean the cabinets.
Right? Also, apply your willpower. Now, willpower is a muscle. It will fatigue. You use it enough, just like a bicep, eventually it's going to give out. So having the food out of the house takes the chance of you eating an unhealthy food off the table, or at least vastly reduces it. 9 o'clock at night, you're feeling ice cream. You're probably not going to get dressed, get in the car, drive all the way out to Carvel and get something. You'll probably say, you know what, I'm just going to have a piece of fruit and call it a day.
Right.
Drinking wine is something that's very common, and that may help you relax in the moment, but it often impairs your sleep later, right? You drink it, I want to take the edge off the day. But the problem is, and we're not going to get into the science of it, we will at a later podcast, but in the latter part of your sleep cycle, oh wow, I kept waking up in the middle of the night, or maybe I had sweats or whatever it might be. You're not doing yourself a good service by giving in to comfort in this regard, creating strategies to help you eat this food, whether that's getting the food out of the house. That's the number one I recommend. That is the primo. Next is having someone else hold you accountable. Maybe you have a coach. Maybe you have a friend, right? That when you're feeling stressed, you just call them up. Just tell me something I need to hear. And they might say, you know what? You have the power to choose. What's the better choice? You're not going to eat those things. I want you to focus on something good that happened today. A lot of times all we need is a good word from someone.
Right. Saying that we can do it and giving you the support. And just into Christian's point about, alcohol and foods, snack foods, junk foods, that goes back to my point of identifying your triggers. So if those foods kind of trigger you when you're stressed, take them out of your cabinet. Like, don't have the chips and the chocolate chip cookies and the ice cream in the freezer and all that stuff. Because remove the triggers and you'll be so much better off. And you'll be happy. You'll go to bed and be like, and you'll wake up in the morning and you know what? You'll feel tighter. You'll feel better. You'll be like, I'm so glad I didn't do that. Versus waking up in the morning and being like, oh God, I shouldn't have eaten all that stuff before I went to bed. So, we are our own worst enemies at times. And we need to believe in ourselves, and we need to motivate ourselves and know that, we can overcome anything and not give in. It's easy to negative self-talk. It's easy to give in to the triggers. It's easy, all the enemies, or I listen to Joel Osteen a lot, and he'll talk about it's the devil. Don't let the devil in. Don't let the enemies in. Kick them out. Tell them you're not welcome here. And that's what you have to do. And when those thoughts creep in or the stress creeps in, just say, I'm not doing that. Don't sweat the small stuff, all those things that you already know. But it's really important to keep those close and read those and really understand them and take them to heart, because, we're in control. At the end of the day, you're in control. You're the boss of you. You make the decisions in your life. So don't let yourself become victim to that.
Now, I mentioned before about journaling. So something that I like to have, my clients do, I often have my men do this who are either entrepreneurs, high-level CEOs, who have a lot of people they're responsible for, including their family. And they are often inundated with work, with people who need things, putting out fires all day. And sometimes they call me and they're like, Christian, dude, I'm having so much trouble sleeping. I go to bed, I have work on my mind. Meditation doesn't work for me because all I do while I'm quiet is think about the things I have to get done. I got this deal to do. There's millions on the line. There's, this person tells me they need this. My wife needs quiet or private time. My kids need me. I'm not sure. So I'll say, listen, tonight before you go to bed, I want you to take 3 minutes. That's it. You're going to lay down anyway. You'll be, you're at your bed. Take 3 minutes and I want you to write. They're like, Christian, what do you want me to write about? I want you to write about all the things you're thinking about, right? The things you just told me about right now. I want you to write those down. Take 3 minutes and just get it out. Write as fast as you can. Get as much stuff on that paper as possible, because what it does is it takes those thoughts and stresses in your head and gives them a tangible place to live so that they're not banging around in your head, right? It's like you shooting a bullet inside a big steel room. Bing, 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 and there's a bunch of crystal around. It's going to start breaking some things. And the things that it breaks are your willpower, right? Once you're inundated with stress, you're not going to make those good choices with food. You might yell at your wife for those things that you're upset about. You might go off on your kids and you know that they're just being kids and, oh, you know what, daddy has to come back and say, you know what, I'm sorry. I was just stressed from the. So this is also what'll help your sleep, because right before you lay down and go to bed, you get these things out of your head. You got to give them a place to live. They're going to live somewhere. Better on that paper than in your mind. And I'm not saying this is the silver bullet, right? None of this is the silver bullet. It's one method that may help you get 1, 2, 3, 5% better.
It's a purging too. It's just, purge all that, unload all that excess, and then you lighten your load. So you feel lighter, and you can go to sleep and go, oh, that's better. I've identified things that trigger me. And get it out on paper. And then you can look at it in the morning too and be like, okay, how am I going to fix this? Things always look better in the morning than they do at night. At the end of the day, you are done. You're tired. You're maxed out. It's not anybody's best time. I mean, usually it's a time to wind down, start to think about resting. Your body wants to be in that mode. And when you wake up in the morning is when you should be alert and energetic and looking how to conquer. So that's an important takeaway. Don't try to conquer the world at 9, 10 o'clock at night. You can conquer it in the morning. Get up early. Get up at 5 or 6 and put your strategy together and conquer the day.
Yeah. And one of the simple ones that you guys already know about, because we've talked about it before, and it's exercise. And exercise can take so many different forms. It doesn't have to be, I go to the gym and lift weights.
Right.
So I've had clients do this before. I had them buy medicine balls. The ones you slam against the floor or the wall. And I'm like, put it in your garage. Whenever you're upset, whenever you're stressed, when you are still in your dress shoes and your button-down shirt, grab that damn thing before you walk upstairs, slam it against the ground 30 times. And I'm talking grip it and rip it, right? And especially the men, well, both men and women, they're like, oh, man, Christian, that feels good. Yeah. I was in there for 5 minutes just cracking that thing. And aggressive activities help relieve stress. I'll tell them, all right, so now that you're home, get the loafers off, get the shoes off. Go outside and do some sprints. Yep. And I say do these things in the moment before you have the opportunity to sit on the couch, and then they won't happen.
Right.
You pull in the driveway. You might even have these shoes. I had one of my guys.
Sneakers.
Yeah, I had one of my guys who puts his clothes in the trunk. And he gets down to the boxers in his driveway, right? He's got the running shoes, gets into the boxers, he puts his clothes on, puts his shorts on, goes out for sprints up and down the street. Mm-hmm. He's like, Christian, I know if I get inside, again, the kid need me, the wife's got dinner on the, yeah. And he does it for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just up and down the street. He breaks a sweat, and now he's ready for the family.
Oh, yeah, his endorphins are pumped. He's happy. He's in a good mood. Yeah. He's blown off some stress.
Yeah. And he just exercised, so now he's becoming a more fit human being.
Absolutely.
Aggressive, and boxing is great too. Now, depending if you have the space, get yourself a bag, right? They got those water-filled ones you can put in your garage or somewhere, and just get yourself a cheap set of gloves and start whacking away at that thing, right? Aggressive activities help get out stress. You whack that thing for 5 minutes, you're going to be a few things. You're going to be tired. You're going to be thinking about just that boxing, like, right, you're just getting that stress out, and you're also going to be more relaxed because you don't have the energy to be so stressed, and you're just going to be taking your thoughts and putting them into something else.
And it's going to become a good habit versus drinking a glass of wine to take the edge off. At the end of the day, you can be like, I can't wait to punch the crap out of that thing.
Right?
And it's going to become just like brushing your teeth. You're going to have to do it every day because it's going to be part of your healthy wellness routine.
And you know what you can do? That boss you don't like, you print out a picture of them, you put it on that bag, right? Of course, don't tell them, but you put it on that bag, you start whacking it. I told you I couldn't get the RFP report. Right?
Yeah, yep.
So
there's so many great ways that we've listed, and I hope that you listen to this and maybe even re-listen to it because you'll probably learn something new if you listen to it a second time. But we really want to provide you, the listeners, with some great ways and tips to help live a better quality of life and just be happier. I mean, that's what it's all about. We're here. We're healthy. You should be living fruitful and happy.
And it all takes time. You will not be great at this by tomorrow.
Just like building muscle.
And it's something you will always have to do. You do not get to a place where you don't need to do this anymore. You get to a place where you're better at it. And then things in life don't stress you as much, i.e. your reactions to them are less aggressive. It takes time. Everything in life that's great takes time. Being a person who handles stress well is a great thing, but it takes time. It takes work, and you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to invest the time and the effort into yourself if you want to be who I think you want to be.
Patience and persistence always pay off.
And we will see you next time.
Adios.